Okay.
Okay.
There we go. If you hear that.
Hey.
Cool. Again,
So I was wondering who Craig was.
Craig is the recordist.
Okay.
But yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It's late out here. It's early out there. I don't think it's a good time for anyone right now, but it's always a good time to be with friends and with people I like. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So Dale, would you like to kick things off?
Okay, sure. So I guess we're gonna listen to the first song, "Blur the Lines" from 2007. So I guess this was from the EP "A Question and an Answer" that I think was released by Lavender Recordings, or a joint release, I believe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and right after
So-
we can probably talk a little bit. So that's how it works. Basically, we listen to a couple of tracks or two, and we talk, and yeah, that's how it goes. This is on your time as well, so you don't have to worry about our time. We will worry about your time. So you can go whenever you want. We can make this drag on for 5 hours. It's all up to you.
I don't think our kid would go for that.
He's occupied right now.
Yeah, we got him out there with some tires and things. He's enjoying it, but yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's kick things off. Yes.
Yay.
I love that whole kind of like 90s beat going on. That's what gets my heart.
We realized we haven't heard that song in like 5 years. We never listened to that.
Yeah, it's where we really go back and listen to the songs, that we like the past albums and things.
Mm-hmm. So this song is from I guess, was it your like debut EP? Although the title track is also from the CDR EP that I don't know if you remember this one. And I think it was from your Autocallant's reunion show.
Yes.
Yeah. Early
Dale has the goods.
So was that like the beginning of Tears and Rings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, it was. I think we had this sort of transition period between Autocallants and Tears and Rings, and
well, there was like Evening Lights.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to go back to having fun and not trying to be so serious. And I think that's what Tears and Rings kind of ended up being.
Yeah.
Like a
fun outlet.
To
do music we liked. Evening Lights was more, I think there was more push to try to.
Yeah, we like practiced.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Tears and Rings was meant to be like friends getting together and creating something fun.
And it was never meant to be like live. Like we were just going to record and have a fun time with it, and focus more on just making an actual product at the end rather than have it be a band that could actually play their songs later. Which
we usually forget everything we do like after every album. Like I would never know how to play anything. I have to like go and research and like because we just like write things on the fly and then we forget.
No idea what we did, and and then because we just we come up with ideas, or we'll be just kind of noodling around and say, oh, that sounds good, record, and then that's it. We never do it again.
Never play that again.
Like playing live, that's one of the many reasons we just don't play live, and when we do, it is a lot of work to try to pick a few songs to play, and then now we need to all figure out what are we all going to play. Who played this part in the recording? I don't know.
What pedals did we use? I have no idea.
So it's a lot of work.
We're almost like to play live. It's like we have to like almost do covers of our songs because we're like.
It's funny. So when's the last time you guys played live? Weren't you at the Kalamazoo Shoegazer show?
Yeah. We played 2 shows for that mini tour because we played one here in Portland as sort of a practice, and then we played and then we went to Michigan and played the Kalamazoo Shoegazer, and we probably won't play again until 2028, 10 years after that.
We usually do 10 years.
Every 10 years.
So it would be another a reunion show, likely.
Maybe they'll form a new band by then,
So who among you is the Mark Almond's fan here?
The Mark Almond fan? I think all of us.
That's great, because it was named after. Was it named after the Mark Almond track? Yeah, it's a great song.
I think we just really like that song, but I think it was more. I don't know.
It's not like we're like. It was sort of a random. It's hard to pick band names, and I think we all like. I think you had that.
It was probably my idea.
We even started.
I don't know.
It's kind of the easier route sometimes to take a band song name and just use that as your band name.
I don't know. It just felt right.
Yeah. People have a hard time with it, which is sometimes fun.
Yeah.
Tears for Trees. I remember someone went like back when we did play 10 years back before this last time. They announced us as Tears for Trees, and we're like, Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. I like that. We should have done that.
We're sort of mixing like Tears of Fears and yeah.
Oh yeah,
The Tears Run Rings.
Tears Run Rings.
Yeah. Which is like,
that's funny.
so Dwayne says,
I see you guys.
So Dwayne's here somewhere.
Oh, Dwayne.
I don't know how to
here.
talk. I don't know how to
Oh,
talk.
we hear you,
We
Dwayne.
can hear you now. So Dwayne, the drummer of Tears Run Rings.
Hey, Dwayne.
All right. Hey, Dwayne. Thanks for
Nice.
joining
Thank
us.
you for joining us. Yes.
Hi, I don't know how to talk though.
You're
I don't know how
talking.
to be. I don't know. Am I on?
Yeah.
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 Oh, nice.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear.
Okay.
I just figured this out. This is my first experience with a computer on this network or thing ever.
His first experience with the computer ever. He's doing really good, guys.
This is being
I'm
recorded.
super happy, as you can tell.
It is a little bit confusing. Yeah. When I joined Discord, I'm like, oh, how do you do this? It's like,
So
I
I've been on
maintain this
Discord
server.
before, but I've never seen like video before, so this is new to me.
So before we head on to the next song, I'd just like to ask how, because I guess Autocollant was a little more indie pop. Well, how did that transition to like a more shoegaze sound for Tears Run Rings go about? Or was it just kind of like, you feel like
We
doing,
had
I don't
another
know.
band- It sort of was. So we had Autoclants, and then we had another band called Diplomat Haircuts, which was supposed to be our more shoegazy project because we were all super shoegaze fans at the time. And I think they started to just mesh when we started. Like towards the end of the Autoclants, we wrote "Send Me Back" as an Autoclant song, which I know we're going to talk about. So I think they just started to mesh, and so by the end of our when I moved away and Autocons kind of went away, I think we were kind of writing shoegazier stuff. So
Yeah, I think too. You moved away, and I think that also like we were all like young and happy, and then we got a little older and less happy. So I think the old and less happy, it's really hard to play happy music. You just kind of want to write some moody stuff and talk about how unhappy you are. I mean, or sing about your woes. And
I
you
can.
know, I feel
I
like
can relate.
definitely had some woe lyrics.
towards the end, yeah.
But
but it was
we were very happy and poppy and young, and we didn't really care. Now we kind of care a little more, and we're less happy.
Yeah, we just miss each other so much, so we're all sad all the time.
That is a mood. As a shoegaze fan, that is a mood. So, we got another track before we talk some more. This is from your debut record, if I'm not mistaken. Send Me Back, from Always, Sometimes, Seldom, Never. So, yeah, we can take a breather, listen to some tunes, and be back in like 5 minutes or something.
Cool.
Cool. For those who have just joined us, welcome to the listening party. Thank you for being here. I know it's a tough time, but we all appreciate you being here.
Okay.
And if you guys have questions, you want to talk to the band here, feel free. Hello. If you all want to talk to the band, ask them questions, feel free to unmute yourselves. You know, you can show your faces if you want to.
Yeah, introduce yourself, ask a question, and I do have a question. Since you guys talked about this song, that it's an old song actually. It is a Noah Kalanch track, and so I guess I'd like to know what I guess why you guys re-recorded it, or why did you include it in the album?
I think we weren't really happy with the first recording, but we liked the song, so we wanted to do it again, a little more. I guess with a little more production, with more layers.
Yeah. Also, I think we remembered how to play that song.
Yeah,
So.
it's an easier one. I think we've only got 3 chords in it, right? And no real changes. And we were like, hey, we know this one. Which is also why that song, whenever we play live, we always play it.
Yeah.
That every show we've ever played, we've always played that song because it's
an easier
easy.
one. Yeah, it's just like distortion, and it's fun to play.
Oh, yeah. It's a very simple song, so we like it.
Yeah, most of the time,
yeah,
the simple songs are actually the really great ones too. So,
Ring got his camera working.
Yay. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you also have a record collection to flex.
Yeah, yeah. It's also hard to keep up with them. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Oh no, that's good.
You're kind of cutting out a bit, but yeah.
Sorry.
He does that.
I did that
guess
last night.
I'm curious about the transition too, because in a way there's another band like the California Oranges, with Katie, and now she's doing Soft Science, which is also like very shoegazy as well. So I curious about that indie pop shoegaze connection there, and to think that also the early recordings of My Bloody Valentine, Sunday Sunday Smile, Strawberry Wine, even Slow Dive with when they started with being known as oh god, what was their name before? Pumpkin Fairies, sort of like sort of like indie pop as well. So that's sort of like, what are your thoughts about that, Ed? Especially you having had a label releasing indie pop records before, and now you guys have Shoegaze band, and you've released Pink Shiny Ultra Blast and stuff like that. So well, it's just curious, the connection there.
I don't know. I never thought of it before, but you're right. Like even My Bloody Valentine started that way, right? Like, So yeah, I don't know. Dale, even your projects, you could say, started that way, right?
That's true. Yeah. I didn't even think about that too, but yeah, it is. I don't know. I guess when shoegaze started, I always thought that the underlying, I guess, melodies are really pop, but then there's quite a bit of changes. Obviously, changes is just inevitable, and then there's other influences going to come into view, and then you'll have a lot. I guess the harder side of it and stuff like that. But to me, essentially, really strip out all the noises and the feedbacks. It's really like just a really simple pop song, I guess.
Yeah.
I think like when I was really young, the first music that really grabbed me, that I was like, oh wow, I love this, was shoegaze, like the early shoegaze stuff. And I was in college, and I was listening to like Slow Dive and Ride and things, and then I started hearing like some Sarah Records stuff, which was really polar opposite, but it was also like, wow, this is really cool, this is fun. And I think for me, I was like, a lot of some of them, and I was getting into some of the more really indie of the indie pop, and I was like, oh, I could do this. This is some simple little guitar chords. I could probably learn a few chords and play this. Maybe I feel like I was like, oh, why don't I try doing this? I think it's a little less daunting than doing these like lots of pedals and layering sounds and things, and even just as a new person playing music, my ear couldn't dissect what was going on. It was just a really beautiful song that I couldn't pick out parts of it as much. I can do that now because I've played this kind of music, but I think it was easier to say, I'm going to do some pop music, because it's a lot less daunting, a little simpler. Then you start getting a few pedals, and then you start playing around, and then that's I think for me that's kind of how the progression went.
I agree. Yeah, I think indie pop too, for us, we didn't care about production at all. We were like, oh, did we tune that? That's good.
Part of the experience.
We were on a 4-track, and I think like 4-track recordings, like there was no way we were gonna do shoegaze on a 4-track. Like I tried it with Diplomat, it was a disaster, but
it sounded great.
But and we, like I think indie pop is a lot more raw and has less production value. So a lot of people, when they're starting out, they can achieve, what they want. I think. Plus, nowadays it's different too, because when a lot of those early shoegaze bands, I think, were like sort of magical, and we didn't have any idea how they were creating those sounds. There wasn't like YouTube videos on how to sound like Kevin Shields, So I think it was like we had no idea. It wasn't until there was like this one website that kind of listed out everyone's pedals and their like rigs, and that was like, whoa, we could finally see what they're actually using. But for indie pop, I was just like, guitar straight into my 4-track, and I was like, oh yeah, I can get that kind of dangly sound, and that worked.
Now that we're like talking about shoegaze songs or like songs in general, I'm curious about like how you do your songs and Tears and Rings? Because you mentioned that you kind of just, I don't know, I got the impression you're kind of just going along the way as you, is it like as you record, or do you write first and then you record? Like, how do you write your music and how do you record them? Like, are you kind of just like throw everything on the table and
you live separately too, right? In the US, or spread.
The way it works for us is we usually get together. Well, pre-COVID, we'd get together like once or twice a year and like decide we're going to work on some songs, and we'd actually together as a band for like a 3 or 4 day session. We would just write and record like with just like mics, so we have ideas, and then we take those songs and then shape them out. Like after everyone left, we put like fake drums and we tried to like demo them out, and then we go through all that process and getting them how we want, and then we go and come back together again and record them properly, like at a studio. Hey, there's Matthew. And then of course from there we would completely change things and add sounds and produce them. But that's kind of the process. That's why it takes like forever.
Yeah, we have pretty much the 4th album demoed out. We're ready to like go start the actual recording process of that, but we can't actually start it until COVID's done. So we're kind of just
fair enough.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Matthew.
We got the whole
good to be here.
Full force.
Figured it out.
Dude, I beat you.
Dwayne figured it out.
Dwayne figured it out before you, Matthew.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
So when you do your songs, like when you record them, do you like do it on your own as a band, or would you get on like a producer to help you out with putting them together and kind of tying everything together? Or you don't?
No, we do it all on our own, but we all have like similar setup. Well, Matthew and I do, and we kind of are able to share files. But yeah.
Yeah, we get the drums we record in the studio, but from there on we just track everything on our own, put it all together, and then the last EP we had Kurt from Ice Choir and do the actual mixing.
Yeah, which was amazing because we hate mixing.
I think it made a big difference. So we'll hopefully be able to call on him do the next album too. I think he did a great job.
And so for the upcoming for the 4th one after COVID, you'll probably do the same process of doing everything on your own and passing it to an engineer to mix.
Yeah, we hope so.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think we could. The way we record, and we just change things so often until we're happy with it. I don't think we could. I think having someone else in the mix would just they would leave us. They'd be like, forget it. You guys are you don't know what you're doing. They probably do that. They'd get frustrated with us because we don't. We like take a song. I mean, there's a couple songs where we had the demo, we're ready to go, we record it, we get the drums down, and then we just gut the whole song and write a whole new song to the drums because we decide we hate it. So
yeah. But a lot of the times when we get together, we're happy because we're together, and so we end up everything sounding a little too happy, and we end up
shoegaze.
We're like, this is a little too happy. Let's.
You need to make this sadder.
Because we're sad again, because when we're apart. We'd probably be an indie pop band if we all lived together in the same town. We'd probably be like, hey, we're happy, we're together.
So you guys know each other from way back, right? Especially Dwayne and Laura, since you guys were playing back in the day, in a day, Cartwheel. So you've been friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Ed and Dwayne have been the longest standing friends here. They went to college together and had some great stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Matthew, I mean, he's like
Only like 19 years.
still a long time.
A long time, yeah.
I met it on Napster.
Oh yeah.
Napster, wow.
I've
All
not
right,
heard
that's
that name in a long time.
Matthew, you had all the Sweet Tara record collection. I remember, like all digitized.
Yeah. Was getting that vinyl into MP3s, 128-bit.
And you guys played together as evening lights too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we took Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew was the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
He had all the cool riffs.
I miss playing the bass.
You can play bass on this next record if you want.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You can swap.
All right.
Okay, let's listen to one more track.
Okay.
Let's do a couple more, actually. I think we got 3 more, as per Dale's playlist. You want to tell us about track 3, Dale?
Track 3 is called Forever from your Distance album back in 2010. Geez, that's 10 years ago. So
Golly.
all right.
So yeah, we got Forever, and then let's meet again after a bit.
All right.
That was one of the happier ones.
That one didn't get gutted.
Yeah, that was actually one that
you wrote that song. You did. That was your guitar. You wrote that song on the guitar. Riff. Well, that's yeah.
So on this song, this is a lot more. It's not as simple as say "Send Me Back" because it seems like there's like different sections here, or it starts fast and then slows down. So that I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it did have like a psychedelic moment,
Well, I remember goals of not having like the same A B A B C A B whatever, like just changing it up. And I remember there were goals of like let's do a completely different structure. And I remember there was definitely talk about that at that time.
Yeah, we still try to do that. We try to make it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's not like we want to. It's fun to like try to do something that's unexpected in a song without it sounding gimmicky. I feel like I listen to a lot of our songs. When I do listen to things, I'm like, that's a little gimmicky. But we try to avoid that.
Just you. I love your songs. So, for those who've just joined us, welcome. If you guys want to ask questions to Tears and Rings, unmute yourselves, introduce yourselves. It's one of the rare times we get to sit down with bands we like, bands I like. So, yeah.
I guess another question. You guys had a song in the Greg Araki movie called Mind the Wires. How did that come about? That's pretty cool.
I think he's like a super Shoegaze fan, so he's worked with Ariel a lot. I think Claire Records being at the time being like putting out Wings and Kisses and all that, which was used also, I think, because we were also on Claire Records. He was like, "Can I hear more Shoegaze bands that you have?" And I think through that connection, he liked Mind the Wires, and we were like, "Cool."
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Ed.
I was just gonna say, so I think we were super stoked to also be on Claire Records, because like at the time, Shelf Life was definitely not in this sort of genre, and we were putting records out, so we were happy to be on Dan's label.
I guess I should mention, especially to our Filipino audience, that Ed does run the Shelf Life Records label, and he has released a couple of Filipino bands like Carnival Park in the past, and most recently Outer Hope. So I guess tell us something about what you like about about these couple of Filipino bands that you've released.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like Shelf Life doesn't really. I don't think of bands as countries or places. I think of like music that I think is good and I have like a reaction to. Like I've released like so many different bands from so many different places. I mean, there's definitely a cool scene in. For a while, I mean, I think I was getting so many like demos in the Philippines. Like, I think there was so many pop bands, but like I don't know if that's answering your question.
I'm just happy you put out Outer Hope.
It's like universal, like
universal.
You could be from Sri Lanka or some tiny place, Papua New Guinea. If you write amazing pop songs, we'll definitely be interested in releasing your record.
Yeah. What's else? I think what you said too about having a connection to it, because I mean, there's a lot of. I'm not part of the label, but I know I hear a lot of the demos, and there's a lot of them that are like really, really good. But you know, maybe it's just not. You're not like you can say objectively, this is really good music, and but it's not pulling you in that way. Or then you hear something and you're like, wow, this is amazing to me personally. And that when you go, okay, I think I'm gonna put this out. I think the label's really about what you and Matthew get really connected to musically. You get demos with a lot of really good bands.
Yeah, and I have to be like so selective. Yeah.
Okay,
no, I just wanted to ask. Sorry.
So
what I was talking about shelf life. As curators of a label, would you say that there are, because you've released music from kind of all over the world, and from a bunch of places from around the world, would you say that there are kind of, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to ask this, but like, would you say that in terms of geography, there are kind of differences in how people make and produce music? And is that kind of like a factor when you sort of curate the releases on your roster? Or, you know, is it kind of like not really a thing you think about?
Yeah. I mean, obviously some bands, I mean, everyone really finishes their like music and sends us like finished product. So how they get to that point is different in some cases. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think what Shelf Life has is like a lot of the bands, even though they're so far apart, they all feel like one in a way. Like they all seem to have like a connection to each other in some aspects. But it's just kind of like us right now, right? So we're all fans of like similar music, and we all have like a connection. So I think Shelf Life's always had that sort of international connection of people.
Cool. So so you just like listen to the record and you try to not that you don't care, but it's kind of like you listen to a record, you like it, and it's in or it's not in. So it's not really like, you know, if I'm making sense. But yeah.
I really like that there's like a good sense of like representation too. You know, you got lots of bands from like all over the planet, the Philippines, United States, and I think that's also really good for a record label too.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne is also a super like music seeker. He like finds amazing bands from all over the place. He's like, "Have you heard this band from China?" I'm like, "Whoa, what?" And then like, so Dwayne's really good at like sending me stuff that he finds.
Any bands that you guys have discovered lately that really blew your mind?
Yeah, my Bandcamp is ridiculous. So there's this band from Korea called Fog that has just blown me away. Just on 2 tracks that they have released, I'm just like foaming. So, anyways, and they have a disc coming out at the end of the year. Amazing though. And there's this like little pop artist from Australia that I'm really liking, is that Hachiku. I don't know if you've heard of it. Hachiku is super interesting. Yeah, just a trip. It just kind of came across that one. That one's on Milk Records. I just found that label too. I don't know what else is there yet, but I just found another label to investigate. So
okay. We'll definitely check those out then.
I'm gonna check it out. You know, I have written them down, and I will.
That Fog is ridiculous, though. Yeah.
Post the link, Johan.
Yes, I will let you know.
Okay.
So Fog is on Bandcamp.
Yeah, Bandcamp is kind of like my go-to now, just to find like a little bit of everything. and then I'll stem out from there. Or even if I find a release now, I'll go to Bandcamp just to see if it's there. I don't know. That's kind of like a go-to. I don't use Spotify very much at all. But yeah.
I love Bandcamp. Thank you, Bandcamp.
Right?
I love Bandcamp. I just want to put
I
that
have
out
a
there.
random question.
Yeah.
Is there
Absolutely.
any like random pop songs that you've heard lately that would make like a great shoegaze cover? What band would that be or song?
Well,
We were just talking about covers last night. But I don't think we had any pop songs in the mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
Disco.
Yeah, Matthew wants to
I was
cover.
floating Hercules and Love Affair, the song Blind. Sounds just like a Tears Run Rings song if Tears Run Rings was a disco band and had horns in it, which it occasionally does.
Dwayne can play trumpet, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
Yeah, flugelhorn, which we realized last night. It's coming. It's coming.
All right,
Do
very
it.
interesting.
Do it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There's some rap sax, so why not bring in flugelhorn, right? There's a lot of sax songs now coming out.
sax,
Mhm.
Love sax. So
Yeah.
that's
Saxophone, yeah.
that.
Planning ideas into their heads. Next album, they're gonna have a huge brass section on.
Right?
We were talking about this was literally our last night's conversation.
I would like to hear that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It is going. There will be a version that will have that, whether it's the album.
Yeah. We've had trumpet on our stuff.
Yeah.
Dwayne's played trumpet on what, a couple tracks?
Couple songs, yeah.
Couple tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
We ends up
Cool.
sounding a little too Boo Radley's, but
Right.
I think we want to be
That's
sad for it.
Brass is not sad enough, probably, but it could work.
Yeah.
Kitchens of
Just have-
Distinction, I just remembered they had the saxophone.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have a
Right.
saxophone.
Yeah.
In some of our music. I love saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be cheesy,
Okay.
but I love cheesy, so give it a little
Cheesy's
80s,
good. I like
little
cheesy.
80s feel, and yeah, I'm
Right.
in.
Tears Run Rings go full on Kenny G. No, I'm kidding.
Everyone would love it. I mean,
Right?
I think everyone would love it.
Get him to feature.
Get him to feature, yes.
Funny.
All right.
So yeah, it's 1:30 here in the Philippines. It's been nearly
Oh
an
my
hour. How are your time? Like, are you four of you okay, or do you guys have
Okay,
to go?
My son's watching Paw Patrol. so
I let him eat some Halloween candy
Okay,
and watch
so
Paw Patrol. 9:30 in the morning, he's eating Halloween candy, so
He's distracted. Doesn't happen very often.
no, it never.
okay. So do you want to call this Dale, or I don't want to keep him.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. If you can't hang around, we can still continue with our listening party. But it's up to you. If you need to log out, Ed, Laura, Matthew, Dwayne.
You can hang out for a little bit.
Sweet.
Yeah,
We got a couple more tracks anyway. We can
There's
probably
two more
listen-
songs.
We can listen to the two of them and
Yeah.
parch
okay.
our ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we listen to the last two songs, I just want to Dale, Amy, and I would like to thank the four of you, Tears Run Rings, for coming over and for taking the time to talk to a bunch of people from halfway around the world.
Right on.
thank you.
Yeah,
This is
thanks
really
for having us.
awesome.
For sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. You guys have anything else to say? Anyone? Anyone want to have a closing remark or something? If not, cool. Yeah.
I think it's just really, this is really fun, and I'm really thankful that you asked us to do this, and yeah, it's
Hey.
great opportunity to talk about music.
Hopefully, Laura, Ed, once all of this is over and we can travel again to maybe Portland, maybe we can really hang out next time since
I know
we missed each other the last time.
Miss you, but yeah, you were like down the street, and I was like, ah.
Wait, stay on Portland? What?
Yeah. Is that piece of cake?
Yes.
What's happening?
It was delicious, though. It was delicious. Thanks for that recommendation. It was worth it. Basically, even if we were just waiting in there, it's delicious cake. So.
Aww.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, we have Belly Up and Someone Somewhere. And yeah, again, thank you so much. It's been fun. I've had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope everyone else had a lot of fun. Cool. Yeah. Let's listen to some music and have a good night. Have a good day, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
We got one more. Yes.
That's good.
That was good. Nice playlist, Dale. Thank you for the curation.
Sure, not a problem.
So yeah, for everyone who's still here, next week we have Slow Crush. And then we will be joined by Isa, who was here actually earlier tonight, but I think she had to go. So see you then. It's 10 p.m. Philippine time, Saturday next week. That would be November 21. So yeah. Thank you for coming, everyone. And I'll be here to hang out if you'll be here to hang out. Yeah. Thank you again, Dwayne. Thank you again, Tears.
Yeah, thanks.
Ed and Laura for here. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone.
Ed, Laura, Dwayne, thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a good day.
Y'all.
D-
Stay